Hello, dear students. Very good evening, all of you. So let's wait just few more minutes so that others can join, and then we will start the session. Okay. So guys, welcome back. So welcome all to SBL Question Practice Marathon session. As you all know, SBL is a paper which is having more of idea, and so essential question practice is a much essential thing. This is a paper which which is having which will be testing knowledge from your tax paper, your audit paper, financial management paper, performance management paper, all these papers in skill levels. Okay. So I hope all of you are having at least the basic knowledge of SBL, because we are having only a 3 days question practice session, which is a total of 6 hour question practice session. And in the 6 hours, I will let you know the day by day plans first. Okay. So today, you might be knowing the pre-scene has been released on August 22nd, 2 days back. The pre-scene for this SBL session has been released. So we will be discussing the pre-scene on third day of this practice session. The complete pre-scene. We will be discussing the complete pre-scene on third day of this session, not on the first day. Maybe you might get disappointed on this, but still, uh, I think it will be better to discuss pre-scene on third day. Before going into the pre-scene, let's first discuss a complete question which discuss almost all syllabus areas of SBL paper. Okay, so today we will be discussing a pre-scene of a question which is already in the practice platform. We will be discussing pre-scene of a question, and the very next day, the second day, we will be doing real exam-based task on the pre-scene which we will be discussing today, and the third day we'll be starting with the pre-scene of the coming September session exam. Okay. So before starting discussions, please let me know whether any of you had gone through the pre-scene released. I think all of you are, have already registered your SPL exams, right? So please let me know whether you have gone through the pre-scene material. Just comment yes or why, something like. Just comment. Okay. Good, good. Okay. Fatimat Sana, okay. Nazim, okay. Okay. How do you feel pre-scene? Is it tough? Is it easy? What do you feel? Just give a comment, or is it a kind of okay paper, or what do you feel? Just give a comment on that too. Easy, tough, medium. How do you feel the pre-scene to be? Average. Okay. 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 Yes, actually, pre-scene is pretty good. The pre-scene, which is for the upcoming SBL September session, is actually pretty good. The reason is that this is the first time that ACC introducing this kind of case study questions where pre-scene is released 2 weeks before. Therefore, it is pretty easy. I think the SBL session in September will be pretty easy compared to previous sessions. And some students, those who attended previous session, have already got this pre-scene and mentioned to me as their feedback that pre-scene is actually easy compared to the last session. It was just a 4 hour case study in which students will only get to know the industry and about the company only during the exam. Okay, so it is actually very good. It is a your situation is pretty better compared to that of previous exam settings. Okay, so by knowing the industry and by knowing the company, you will be definitely be getting more insights of the company and can contribute more in the exams as well. Okay, so today, as we already discussed, as I already mentioned, we will be starting discussion of a pre-scene, not of the coming September session, but we will be starting the pre-scene of discussing pre-scene of some other question, and we'll be doing questions based on this pre-scene tomorrow. And the third day, we will be start discussing the pre-scene of the coming exam. Okay. So before starting with that, let me share the screen. Please let me know whether you can see my screen. Okay, perfect, perfect, perfect. Thank you. Okay, I hope most of you guys had gone through material like this. Along with the precede material, we have received some other material, how to use SBL precede. Have you gone through this? Please let me know the same in comments. Have you gone through this? Many of the students are having some confusion. They're having some misunderstanding about the pre-scene, that by getting pre-scene, tutors are able to predict questions. It is not like the way. We cannot predict the question. We can do some question tipping or spotting, but still we have no guarantee from which area, from which syllabus area SBL question will be asked. Okay, so please don't think like that. Okay, and ACCA has already mentioned. Can you please go through this? Avoid excessive additional research into the industry. Okay, as you already know, the pre-scene that we have received is about airline industry. Okay, so you please don't do any additional research on this airline industry. Okay, second one, avoid speculating on areas of the syllabus that will be examined based on pre-scene. Okay, we cannot mention from which area, we cannot say from which area, from which syllabus area you will be getting tested. Avoid using pre-scene as the main source of material for answering exam tasks. In exam, along with the pre-scene information, we will be having 3 or 4 other exhibits. You have to use those 3 or 4 exhibits also for answering questions. Okay. And then avoid reading pre-scene for first time just before the exam session. Obviously, we won't do this, right? We won't do this. We will be definitely be going through the pre-scene 2 weeks or 1 week before the exam anyway. And avoid spending too much time on pre-scene at the expense of revising areas of the syllabus. It is obviously it is a usual thing that students already receive pre-scene and now they start by-hearting pre-scene. Some students start by-hearting pre-scene. By-hearting pre-scene won't do any good because pre-scene information is already available to us during the exam day. You can access the pre-scene information again during the exam day. Okay, it is already in your exam window. It will be there in the exam window. So please don't by heart the pre-scene. Just get to know the industry. Just get to know the company. That's it. Okay, and avoid question tipping and sporting. While I discussing the pre-scene, definitely I can give some question tipping or question spotting. This might be asked as per when I have gone through the pre-scene. It seems that data analytics will be testing in this coming session. Data analytics is a topic area which might be get tested in the upcoming September session because there has been specifically 3 paragraphs which has been sporting data analytics. Similarly, environmental footprint, the CO2 emission, there has been multiple paragraphs relating to the environmental footprint and CO2 emissions of the airlines. Environmental concerns from the customers are there. So there might be questions relating to the environmental footprint, or it might be related to integrated reporting, something like that. Still, this is not guaranteed. What I did right now is just question tipping, and we can't fully rely on this. Okay, so please do realize that. And as of now, as we already discussed, let us start with a new pre-scene material. And by going through this particular question, let us understand, let us try to understand what you should do for the coming September session exam. Okay, so the question that we are going to discuss today is already in the practice platform. Okay, it is practice exam number 1. It is about Cofold Construction Company. It is a company which is in the construction industry, and the company is CC company. Okay, so this is how your exam window look like. Already there are other exhibit which will be available only during the exam. There are 3 exhibit which is available during the exam, and pre-scene information is already given again. Okay, pre-scene information is already given again. You don't have to carry the paper or annotated word files to the exam hall. You will be given pre-scene information again. Okay, along with this, there is a small difference from the past exam. there will only be 3 mandatory tasks: task 1, task 2, and task 3. Okay. Here it is 30 marks for task 1, 30 for task 2, and 40 marks for task 3. This may not be the same in coming September session. Maybe task 1 may be having 35 marks, task 2 may be having 45 marks, and task 3 may be having the remaining 20 marks. Okay. There is no uniform standard for this 3 tasks. The marks could be anything. Okay. So let's start reading. Let's start going through the pre-scene, and let's go through the exhibit next day and task next day. And the very last day, we will be discussing the pre-scene. Okay. So let's start reading. In the pre-scene given, we have given 4 contents: introduction about the industry, and extract from the recent report of CC company. We are given with the annual report, CEO statement, and rest section of annual report. Then again, a press release, the press release which is made by the company, and forecast revenues and costs for they're going to construct some new road. So we are having the forecast revenue and cost about this new construction as well. Okay. So let's start reading the pre-scene. Since you already receiving pre-scene in 2 weeks earlier, you should be having an overall idea about industry and company. So please do read very slowly. You're having much time, right? Okay, so please do read very slowly. So Cofold Construction is a listed construction company. Every single detail, please do use highlighters while doing the exam. Okay, Cofold Construction is a listed construction company. Its head office is in the capital city, Lampasa, of the country of Omegaland. So Omegaland is the country. Within Omegaland, there is a capital city, Lampasa, and we are located in, our head office is located in this Lampasa. We have 2 neighboring countries, Alphia and Bethel. The countryside in both Alphia and Omegaland is generally flat. In Bethel, there is large range of mountains, Isnadi mountains, which separate the eastern region from the rest of the country. So basically, Omegaland, Alphia, and Bethel are neighboring countries. Okay, in which Alphia and Omegaland, the countryside in Alphia and Omegaland is basically flat, and Bethel is having mountainous region. All 3 countries use the same currency, the dollar. Okay, all 3 countries, since all 3 countries are using the same currency, any transaction between these 2 countries may not be exposed to foreign exchange rate movements. In the pre-scene that is given to us for the coming September session exam, the neighboring countries is having different currency, right? I hope you have gone through. Okay, those who have gone through can relate. There are multiple countries, and there are some transaction between these countries, and all these countries is having different currencies. So there is a risk existing, which is foreign exchange risk. Okay. In this question, it is not the case. There is only one currency, which is the dollar. The board comprises 50% executive directors and 50% independent NEDs. In the question that we have received, the board is not exactly 50-50. The board is not perfectly balanced like this. There are more of executive directors and less NEDs. Okay. So the senior board members are, and there is no rules or anything like that. The board should be 50-50, nothing like that. Okay. It is corporate governance. It should be balanced. Okay. Chairman is Imena Bhutia. CEO is Burton Wadar. Senior NED Alex Larson. Okay. So now we get to know familiar about these names. We should be familiar about these names. Who is the chairman? Chairman is Imena Bhutia. CEO is Burton Wadar. And senior NED is Alex Larson. Maybe you might be handling the role of Alex Larson while doing a report. Maybe you have to answer as Burton Wadar, being the CEO of company. You will be assigned with a role while doing answers. Okay. So CC's core business is to provide support services such as upgrade of electricity networks, road renewal and maintenance in all 3 countries. Electricity upgradation, road renewal, maintenance, all these are the support services they provide. And it has also undertaken road construction project of increasing size and complexity. CC started taking bigger projects. Initially, they carried most of the construction projects in Omegaland. Its biggest projects there being a ring road around the city of Lempasa. the biggest project that CC company has carried out till the date, right? Its biggest project in Omega Land is a ring road between the capital city. CC also started to develop a portfolio in Alpha. In Alpha also we started construction. The biggest development there being a road between Fay City and Town. Fay City and Town might be some cities which is located in Alpha. Okay. Wait. There are some noises in between. Let me mute. Give me a minute, guys. Okay. So Five City and Thought Town might be two cities which is located in Alpha, and we had constructed the road connecting these both cities, which was completed in 2020. To date, the company has not carried out any construction project in Bethel. Okay, Bethel is a mountainous region. It is already given, right? Bethel is a mountainous region. And so we have not carried out, we are having no experience in Bethel. However, an opportunity has arisen for CC to tender for construction of a major road in Bethel, which would be the biggest project which CC has undertaken to date. So there is an opportunity for a construction of a major road in Bethel. Okay, if you undertake this project, this is going to be the biggest ever project that we did. Okay, extract from the most recent report of CC company CEO statement. Okay, see, this is actually a question which happened to occur in one among the past exams. So all these exhibits were only available to students just during the exam day. The exam was a 4-hour exam. You guys must be knowing. Okay. As of now, they have amended it to accommodate pre and other tasks in separate exhibits. Okay, just to get familiar of like how pre works. And this amendment has been done by August 21, just before the day pre is released. Most of the questions in practice platforms has been amended by ACCA to reflect the new method of examination. Okay. Now, CC's results have shown increased profitability and stronger cash flows. The quality and value of the newer projects have been enhanced by more focused approach to tendering. The company is start earning profits. The company's cash flows are now getting stronger. Okay. The company has avoided speculative projects. Speculative projects means those projects which is having high risk, but if we had successfully completed this project, we might be getting bigger gains. Those kind of projects are known as speculative projects. And we concentrated on larger projects with higher margins. We don't go usually select projects which is having low project. We go even apply for tender for those projects which is having low margins. We only do projects which is larger as well as which is having high margins. And advantageous contract terms. There might be special conditions attached to each of the contract. This project should be completed by this year. This project should be completed within this budget. Okay, so those terms which are advantageous, we only select those contracts in which the terms are advantageous to us. We believe that these are projects which can unlock new opportunities for CC. As a result, I am delighted to announce the first increase in dividend for the 3 years. So for the past 3 years, we may not be issuing dividends, or there might not be any growth in the dividends. Okay, so it is for the first time we are announcing, the CEO is announcing increase in dividends. Dividend is increased. If they announce dividend, if they declare dividend, if they issue dividend, there might be their liquidity position goes down. There is no cash, right? The cash is already being issued as dividends. The result reflects the successful completion of the ring road linking the main road around Lambasa. The $10 billion earnings from this. It has already been mentioned that in the capital city of Lambasa, they developed a ring road, right? For the ring road, they got an earnings of $10 billion earnings. This is the biggest ever construction project, okay, they had undertaken till the date. And this have shown the company's ability to expand the scope and size of the project which it undertakes. By making this Lampasa Ring Road project successful, now CC has shown its ability to start with bigger projects, bigger and larger projects. And then CC Stakeholder First program, aiming to enhance our relationship with all our key stakeholders, has also delivered benefit. We don't know much about what is the Stakeholder First program. We look forward to the prospect of building on our strong relationship with government of Omega, and we also continue to engage with communities affected by our work. Usually in construction industry, when we construct a road, maybe many families have to get shifted, many people have to move from there, maybe wildlife get affected, so there are communities that get affected, and communities is one of the important stakeholder. Government is one of the stakeholder. We have already learned in detail about stakeholders in our chapter 7, right? Stakeholders comes to one of our topic. Okay, you should be knowing what stakeholder is, how we can map stakeholders, mental loss metrics and things. What do you have any idea what stakeholder is? On the basis of stakeholders should always be prioritized on the basis of power and interest. Okay, so those stakeholders who is having greater power and greater interest, we should prioritize them first. Government, community, we should check the power and interest of these stakeholders. Shareholders, another stakeholders with greatest power and greater interest. Okay, so whenever a question, a task is being asked about stakeholders, please do try to bring with words such as power and interest, because the examiner is expecting the same. Whenever you write about stakeholders, do talk about the power and interest within the answer. Okay. So there is a program, stakeholder first program, in which which will be implementing to enhance the relationship with all the key stakeholders. And we are mindful of the economic benefit which improved infrastructure will bring, but also want to address concern about adverse impact on the environment. Obviously, construction might cause adverse impact to the environment, right? Looking forward, the development over the next 2 years of our Site Smart initiative. Looking forward, the development over the next 2 years of our Site Smart initiative will improve project management in all aspects. So stakeholders is something which we discussed in chapter 7, stakeholders, about stakeholders. Similarly, project management is a topic which is being constantly tested in SBL exam, which we had discussed in chapter 3 on our learning. Okay, project management, who is a project manager, who is a project sponsor, what are the documents that are associated with project management. PID is there, project initiation document. Okay, there are basically 4 phases of project in project management. So there is an initiative, Site Smart initiative. If we implement this initiative, this will be developing in the coming 2 years. If we implemented this initiative, this will definitely improve the project management of the company. This will result in more effective deployment of business resources. Okay, whether it be materials, labor, or whatever, we get to effectively deploy these resources, reducing wasted time and enhancing our competitiveness by reducing project lead times. What is meant by lead time? Lead time means, any idea? Any guess what the lead time is? Lead time is the time taken to get the project delivered. You might be familiar with Myntra and Amazon. When you order something on Myntra or Amazon, it is showing that like delivery in 5 to 6 business days. This 5 to 6 business days can be considered as project lead time. You will get the order delivered in 5 to 6 days, right? Similarly, in case of a project, you will complete the project in, by reducing project lead time means we get to deliver the project much earlier than expected. We also see the effective use of big data as an important goal. This is a question which may be discussing big data in the coming exhibits. Okay, so I have intentionally choose this particular question because big data is also being discussed in the pre-scene which is available now. Okay, so even though artificial intelligence, AI, is being the hot topic, but still last SPL session, AI has been tested. So again, big data might be testing in this particular session. Okay, so we choose this question intentionally so that we get to discuss about what big data is, and we shall be looking to upgrade our systems to take full advantage of it. Okay. we need to upgrade our system so that then only we can take advantage of the big data that we are collecting. I am delighted to report that our operations in Alfia are showing a profit for the first time in 4 years. So we have started our operations in Alfia just 4 years back. And it is for the first time our operations in Alfia is showing a profits. Okay. The main factor for the depressing result in Alfia is to be losses from construction of the road between Pine City and Town Town. We are constructed a road between Pine City and Town Town. Okay. Maybe we get many, we may have faced many challenges during this construction, and we were constantly incurring losses for the past 3 years. And this is the first year that we are making profit. The board has reflected hard on the issues. Board has reacted very hard on these issues. And we believe that lessons we have learned are positively influencing. If we did a mistake, we'll learn from that, right? Similarly, the CEO is stating that the lessons we have learned from this road construction, this will definitely positively influence our system and will be demonstrated on future projects so that there will be less number of mistakes in upcoming projects. This is the CEO statement. Okay, so CEO has made a statement on stakeholder first program about stakeholders. CEO has talked about project management. CEO has made a statement about big data and about their operations in Alfia. Okay, so looking at just this part of pre-scene, this could be related to almost all areas of the SBL syllabus. Okay, we have no idea from which area you will be get testing. Maybe you will get testing on big data, which is on chapter number 2. Maybe you will be getting tested on project management, which is on chapter number 3. Maybe you will be getting tested on stakeholders, maybe on risk management. Maybe see, 5 and total, there might be some risk here. Okay. So simply by looking at the pre-scene, we cannot predict a question. That is what I'm trying to talk about. Simply by looking at the pre-scene, we cannot predict a question. We can link this to almost all of the syllabus areas, but okay. And then we have an extract from the risk report section of the annual report. Annual report is a very detailed report. Out of the full report, there is only an extract from the risk area. So risk management might be a topic that you are getting tested for exam, which is in chapter 8. Okay, another syllabus area. So board responsibilities. The board formally reviews major risks as a regular part of its agenda and has ultimate responsibility for risk management. Risk management is incorporated within operational system and in daily activities. Okay. So about the risk, it can be seen that there is no risk committee. See, we are directly jumping to the audit committee responsibility. Even in the risk report section, there is no mentioning about risk committee. Maybe risk committee may be missing in this company. Okay. So the board is actually formally reviewing major risks. The board is already having many other duties to put down the strategy and things. But still, the board is reviewing major risks as a part of its agenda and has ultimate responsibility for risk management. And then in the risk report, we can see audit committee responsibility. The company has an audit committee comprised entirely of independent NEDs. Yes, in the audit committee, there should be non-executive directors only in line with the international governance best practice. Corporate governance is a topic which is being discussed right now. Chapter number 6. See, almost all syllabus area. We can link this pre-scene into almost all syllabus area. We are having no idea from where the question will be. Okay. So corporate governance, usually in UK scenario, in a SBL scenario, we are following principle-based system. That is why it is mentioned here, international governance best practice. There is no cut and defined rules for the corporate governance system. Okay. In the audit committee, most of the directors are non-executive directors. Okay. It is according with the principles. It is according with the principle. We are not just rule based. We can include even executive director, but that could be seen as a skepticism. Okay, fine. All committee members have accountancy or finance qualification. The committee meets every 3 months. All committee members in the audit committee is having accountancy or finance qualification. so that they get to know much of the audit related things. They get, since they are not of the finance, since they are having knowledge about the finance, right? It is good for audit committee. The committee meets every 3 months. It report to the board on significant issues in relation to FS. Yeah, basically, audit committee discusses issues related to audit, right? Okay, so in relation to FS and on its assessment of external audit process, the committee reviews and approves the role and mandate of internal audit, approves internal audit plan. All these are normally the functions of audit committee. Monitors and reviews the effectiveness of accounting system. The committee has not a specific responsibility, but a general responsibility for promoting sound risk management. So by reading this particular area, see, this is one of the risk section of the annual report. Okay, see, the board is just for the namesake, formally the board is reviewing all this risk. And audit committee is already having numerous number of other responsibilities, other specific responsibilities. And after doing all this, they have a general responsibility for promoting sound risk management. So it can be seen that risk management has taken as a very lighter issue by this company. The committee is assisted in its work by a risk manager and a health and safety manager. See, thank God, risk manager is there. Risk manager. So basically, in chapter number 8, we have already learned about who a risk manager is, what are the different risk management techniques. Can any one of you comment what are the different techniques, risk management techniques that we have discussed? There should be a risk manager, there should be proper ERM framework existing within the company enterprise risk management. There should be a risk committee. Okay, there should be a risk committee, there should be risk register existing in the company, risk heat map. Okay, and Tara framework and all, we have learned all this in risk management. So the looking at the whole risk report, the only risk management technique that we are specifically doing is we have appointed, the company has appointed a risk manager, and the risk manager is actually assisting audit committee. Risk manager is someone who should report things to risk committee and not the audit committee, right? And there is a health and safety manager. There is a health and safety manager for reporting safety issues and specific risk. The company with facing some specific risk, it is also mentioned in the pre-scene. CC is responsible for minimizing the risk of hazards and dangers to employees and others arising from its operation. Health and safety managers' responsibilities include health and safety documentation, organizing training for staff, reviewing reports regarding health, and monitoring compliance in conjunction with internal audit. And then the company is obliged to report 300,000 fines it paid as a result of injuries to employees arising from failures to remedy dangerous conditions on the work site. Okay, so we are already facing some kind of, we are having stronger cash flows, but then we announce dividend, right? So there might be some liquidity issues which might be tested. Okay, along with the dividend issue, they now need to pay fines of $300,000, which will further affect the liquidity position of the company. Okay, and this is due to failures to remedy dangerous conditions on the working site. The health and safety manager has made recommendations for improved procedures, which will be implemented on all existing and future contracts. Good though. In future, this kind of fines could be avoided, right? Then tendering. CC requires a stream of successful bids. What is tendering? Usually in construction projects, those companies who are in construction industry, they do submit a bid for tender. Okay, and the tender with lowest bid, the tender with lowest cost will be selected for the construction. Okay, so similarly, CC requires a stream of successful bids and projects to deliver value for shareholders. What is the objective of a company? Which is to maximize shareholders' wealth, right? Maximize shareholders' wealth. So if CC company need to satisfy this primary objective, they need to be successful in the bids they submit to the companies, right? It cannot commit too many bids nor accept projects which offer insufficient returns. So the board is considering specifying a minimum profit margin of 8% for most projects, which means the board is only accepting, the board may be submitting bids only for those projects which is at least earning a margin of 8%. That is their tendering policy. Okay. And what is the risk existing? This is the risk reporting. What is the risk existing? If they're not able to meet this 8% margin, the company might further go into serious liquidity financial issues. Project delivery. Any failure of project to meet time, budget, and quality requirement represents a fundamental threat to CC's business. Such failure can arise from unrealistic plan, failure to assess the progress properly, and lack of effective reporting. If SiteSmart initiative is there, then this will definitely be focused on improving project delivery. But we all know SiteSmart initiative is something which CC company will be developing in the next 2 years. This initiative has not yet been implemented. This will only be developed in next 2 years, right? Okay. So if as of now there is no such initiatives and the delivery of the project might become a problem, this is considered as another specific risk which company is facing. And the company is also facing environmental risk. The company's sustainability strategy is designed to deliver environmental outcomes which society demands. CC has improved its program for reducing carbon emission. CC is focusing on reduction of energy and fuel consumption. CC also aim to minimize the disruption to community. So CC trying to reduce carbon emissions, CC trying to improve fuel efficiency and fuel energy, and CC is already causing much of the disruption to the communities. Maybe the community representatives might be making a problem, which will further lead to reputational risk of the company. So there are some specific risks, some serious specific risk companies facing. Another issue is financial risk. Yes, CC company is facing some kind of financial risk. Let us look what it is. Failure to maintain liquidity and meet loan repayment and condition, covenant means condition requirements will compromise, jeopardize means compromise CC's ability to win new contracts. Okay, CC company have to maintain their current ratios and quick ratios, their liquidity ratios at a good position. Then only this might be the conditions which are attached to the loans they have already took. Okay, if they fail to meet the current ratio, quick ratio, or some other liquidity ratio, then this will compromise the company's ability to win new contracts. Okay, and the CC aims to maintain a capital structure. What is capital structure? Capital structure means how the company is financed by equity and debt. So CC aims to maintain a capital structure which balances equity and debt, 50% equity and 50% debt. This is the best capital structure that we are aiming at. The board is satisfied that undrawn bank facilities will be sufficient to meet continuing needs. We have an overdraft facility and we haven't took any of the money from this OD facility. So as of now, to meet the continuing needs, this OD facility is more than enough. And so our liquidity position seems pretty safe. And the board is also confident that loans due for repayment in the next 3 years can be replaced by equivalent funding if required. This is a construction industry and CC is a construction company. In construction industry, it is a very usual thing that companies will be availing loan for specific project. The CC company is already doing great projects, larger projects in Omegaland, some other projects in Alfia, and they're going to implement a new project in Bethel as well. So they might have already took many of the loans. Okay, so those loans in which repayment is due in the next 3 years, this can be replaced by equivalent funding if required. If needed, we can close this loans very easily when this loans getting matured in 3 years. Okay. And business integrity and reputation. Okay. CC's board is committed to safeguarding against the risk of fraud. We don't involve in fraud. We are against bribery and corruption. And we do ensure a commitment to honesty that about false claim and misleading statement. We, the whole board, as well as the employees, do follow a culture of honesty, and the code of conduct and rigorous ethics training is implemented in the company to maintain stakeholder trust in the company's integrity and to avoid legal penalties and reputational damage. Okay, so CC company seems to be having a good code of conduct in this kind of things. There is no issue of bribery. There might not be any case of fraud and things. Okay, we are just predicting things. We are just predicting things because this is only the pre-seed. Okay, and we have to read one or two pages more to complete the pre-seed. Okay, so have you got an idea about what CC company is? Where are the operations of CC company? What construction industry does usually? Okay, please, can you please comment? Are you okay till now? Till what we discussed till now? Good job. Okay, if you are having any troubles in understanding or any doubts in between, please do text me in the chat box. Okay, so that we will discuss it definitely. Okay, now press release of the announcement of new road in Bethel dated 10 November 2011. See, in the exam, we must be cautious about these dates. Okay. Have you seen any other dates in the above pre-scene? Pre-scene is already with us, but still I'm asking. Yes. Alphia, the biggest development in Alphia was completed in 2010, right? And now in the next page of the pre-scene, it can be seen that there is a press release of the announcing new road between Gamville and Lekita. So this is about the new road construction in Bethel, and we are going to announce this to the media, to the community in Bethel. Okay, and this is happening on almost the second part of 2011, announcing new road between Gamville and Lekita. Okay. Yes. Definitely, the recordings will be available. Not the recordings. This will be aired in the YouTube channel. Okay. Okay. So, press release of the announcement announcing new road between Gamville and Lekita, a $20 billion new road scheme. See, the maximum earnings that we have received till the date, the biggest ever construction project was in Alphia, which was $10 billion. Okay, so what we are going to construct in Bethel is almost the double of that, a $20 billion new road between two cities, Gamville and Lekita is the cities. This will transform economy of Bethel's eastern region, cutting the average journey time through the Isnadi mountains by almost half. We can reduce the travel time by half if there is a new road which we can construct through these mountains. So Minister for Transport Desmond Ottino said, Desmond Ottino, a new character is coming to the picture, who is the transport minister in this country. Which country? Bethel, transport minister of the Bethel. He said that I am finally pleased at last to confirm the scheme which will enhance eastern regions of our country's economic development. This region has been held back by poor roads through Isnadi mountains. Okay, there were no good roads, and that is the only reason why eastern region of our country was held back. Flooding during the wet season has often caused traffic delays, and sometimes the road is impassable. The road is not able to travel in wet seasons. Flooding was there through Isnadi mountains. The new road will resolve all these problems. Once the new road is up, then there will not be any problems like this. Mr. Desmond Ottino, the transport minister, is announcing all these kind of things to the community there via press release. We have identified a preferred partner which we have invited to submit a detailed tender for the contract to construct the road. So the minister is mentioning that we have identified a preferred partner. The minister is not mentioning our name. See, we have identified a preferred partner. At the moment, their identity is confidential. The minister has made our identity much confidential, but we hope to announce shortly who it is. I can confirm now that they are from outside Bethel. Okay. So the minister is not disclosing our names or our identity to the community. The minister is just saying that yes, the company, the road construction company, is out from outside Bethel. Low price will be an important criteria when choosing the contractor. Okay, one of the criteria which minister stated is that low price is an important criteria. Then we shall also want the contractor to carry the work efficiently. Okay, so he's setting up a new criteria. The contractor so the minister wants the contractor to carry the work efficiently with its timetable being as short as possible. Minister wants the road construction to be completed in a very short time frame. It is another criteria. And to ensure that disruption should be kept at the minimum, the disruption to the community, disruption to the environment should be kept at the minimum, another criteria. The government will guarantee any debt finance that the contractor need to fund the project. The government, the minister is guaranteeing that if CC company is in need of any funds, they can provide, the government can provide, the ministry can provide debt finance if needed. Debt finance means we have to pay interest. Okay. And the all this $20 billion will be given maybe after the completion of the project. We don't know the delivery of the project and further payment terms. But as of now, the government is guaranteeing debt finance if we need. We means the company. And now we appreciate the concerns expressed about the impact on some villages in the mountains and damage to habitat to a number of species of wildlife. Yes, Bethel is a country which is having a mountainous region as their terrain, right? So definitely there will be a huge number of wildlife species settling there. And if we construct the road, we will be putting some environmental footprint on this kind of species. This right footprint on these species. This species get affected. The communities, the villages get affected. We shall expect our chosen contractor the government is expecting their chosen contractor to limit environmental footprint while it constructs the road. See, another reason to choose this particular question for today's discussion is environmental footprint is something that the new pre-scene is also being mentioned. About CO2 emissions of the airlines. There has been multiple paragraphs in the pre-scene that about CO2 emissions. So it is good that we have an idea about this pre-scene and this particular question. It will be required to base its construction plans on mitigating the environmental impact of the road when it opened. When completed, we are certain that new road will give a big boost to our country's economy and be a lasting achievement of the government. So by reading this, we should be skeptical about the Desmond Otino's idea. Like, he wants this to be the lasting achievement of this government. Maybe that is why he wants the contractor to carry out the work in a shortest timetable as soon as possible. Right? Okay. He wants to show this as the achievement of this government, because government do usually changes after 5 years almost in every country and every jurisdictions. So maybe after 2 or 3 years, this government there is chance for a change. That is why Desmond Otino is stating to keep the timetable as short as possible. And we are having another data which is about forecast revenues and cost for the construction of the new road in Bethel. It is assumed that construction will begin in May 2012. We are doing this announcement in 2011 November, and after 6 months in May 2012, be cautious of the dates in the question. Okay, after 6 months we will be starting the construction, and the construction will be completed in December 2015, which means the complete construction will take place in almost 3 years, 3.5 years. On average, it is around 3.5 years. The total road construction would take 3.5 years. Progress payments from Bethel's government are scheduled as follows. Okay. The government is paying to us 21,000 million, which means 21 billion. Okay. And these payments are during these time frames. See the time frames? Almost 20% is received in 2013. And by 2014, 25% is received. And only by after the completion of the project, we will be receiving a big portion, which is 35% of the earnings will only be received once we have delivered the project. There is no conditions like this, but only after the completion date. 31st December is the completion date, right? Okay. So we get a huge portion of the money, of the revenue, once we complete this project. Okay. What about the cost, the projected cost, the future cost that we are expecting to complete this road construction is, these are the cost items. Road surfaces, we need to make, this is a mountainous region, we need to make level the roads, right? So this is a huge cost which is being incurred in 2012, 13, 14 and 15. And we have to make tunnels, bridges and underpasses. There should be crossing symbols and signage, ground remediation and stabilization. The road surfaces means tarring. Before doing tarring, we have to do the ground stabilization. Then we have to do drainage, lighting, fencing, and safety barriers, and other miscellaneous expenses. So even by 2012 itself, we are incurring, the company is incurring an expense of $3,150 million. But the first payment that we are receiving is by 30th April 2030. So the company should actually find some funds to move to kept aside for this particular expenses, $3,150 million. The company should have enough liquidity to meet these expenses in 2012, because the first part of the earnings will only the funds will only get realized by 2013 of April, right? And in 2012, 13 and 14, the total expense that company incurred is almost around 5 plus 5, 10, 10 plus 3, 13, 13 plus all these, around 14, more than $14,000 million expenses we incurred at the end of 2014. And by 2014, the only amount that we realized is 4 plus 5, almost 9. So the company is actually in short of $5,000 million revenue. Okay, that will be realized, but in future. So the company should have a proper cash flow positions, projected cash flow positions, and to find liquidity and to find sources for this short-term finance. So then only the construction will only be complete. Okay, construction will only be smooth. Okay. Okay, so this is all about the pre-seed. Now just give your insight. What could be the questions that have we asked in this task 1, task 2, task 3? We haven't yet opened what is task 1, what is task 2, what is task 3, and we haven't opened these exhibit as well. But with the current knowledge, with the current awareness of the industry and about the discussion we just had, please let me know what might be the question, what topic might be the question. Please let me know. Please do make a comment. Big data, yes, we can spot big data. Risk management is there. Very good, JB. Audit committee, or the absence of risk committee could be come up as a question. CSR could come up as a question. Strategy is come up as a right. Appraisal, very good. Project appraisal, the projected forecast revenues and projected costs are given. So maybe some kind of investment appraisal could come up as a question. Very good, Nazim, very good. And about the stakeholders. Okay. Project management is being asked. So project PID might be a question. We have no idea, because we have yet to see these exhibits and these tasks. So basically, by reading the pre-scene, we are not able to predict what the question could be. Okay, what the question could be. Just do realize the question could come up from any part. It could be from strategy, leadership, CEO statement, and the board 50% balance board of directors are given, right? So this could be from, question might be from the leadership area, strategy area, big data area, project management area, stakeholders area, corporate governance area, risk management area, from any of the stakeholders area, from any of these syllabus areas. So the first thing that I want to recommend is, please do have a thorough understanding of almost all syllabus. Okay. If you are someone who haven't yet started preparing SBL paper, just do one thing. Read all the technical articles. Technical articles have basically covered 100% of the syllabus for SBL. So please go through all the technical articles and have an idea what a topic is about. Don't go into detail, but just read all the technical articles and have an idea what is a project management, what is a PID, project initiation document, what it is, what is risk management, what are the risk management techniques that company do use, what are the different kind of stakeholders, and how do we map stakeholders on the basis of power and interest. Okay, what is corporate governance, what are the normal best industry practices that companies do follow, in international best practice of corporate governance. What is meant by leadership? Which type of leaders are there? What is big data? What is artificial intelligence? Technical articles are available for all of the syllabus areas. So if you are someone who haven't yet started preparing for SBL exam, this is the solution. Please go through all the technical articles day by day. Each day one technical article. So in 8 days, we can complete all the technical articles and we get to know the whole syllabus idea. Okay. So that you can contribute more in the coming exam. Even if you are someone who is having no idea, who is having zero idea about the syllabus, you can still answer the question. Okay. See, that I will demonstrate that when solving this question. Okay, even if you are someone who is having zero knowledge of SBL paper, still you can give a good fight in the exam. Okay. So we have gone through the pre-scene. Okay. I hope the pre-scene is clear for everyone. Can you please comment pre-scene? Is pre-scene fine? Can you just comment, guys? Okay. Okay. Now, once you read pre-scene, once you start reading pre-scene, there are obviously 2 weeks for the exam. So keep reading pre-scene every day. So you will get to know more of the ideas. Okay. Do technical article every day. Start reading technical article every day and start read the same pre-scene every single day. So you will get more ideas. Okay. So do read the pre-scene every single day. Maybe not in full, but at least do read parts of the pre-scene. And so 2 weeks, after 2 weeks, we are now going to start exam. On exam day, once you enter into hall, once you start the exam, this is the window that you guys are having in front of you. You can see 3 tasks and more exhibits. More exhibits means it could be 3 or 4, fewer exhibits, 3 or 4. Okay, not more than 4. And we are having 3 tasks. The first thing that you have to do, the first 15 minutes should be spent for planning. How to plan? Let's look. There is 3 tasks, task 1, 2, and 3, right? Just go through, just skim through task 1, skim through task 2, just read quickly about all these tasks. And all these tasks might be related to any specific exhibit. Obviously, you will be having knowledge about the industry and the company, the organization and the industry. You all are having knowledge about the organization and industry as it is already given in pre-scene. Okay. There is no need to open this thing again because we have already learned much of the data in that, right? So the first thing that we have to do in the planning phase is to map the exhibits. Okay. Say for example, I'm just opening task 3 now. So in task 3, you have just left the emergency meeting. You have just left the emergency meeting regarding the incident at the construction site. Okay. Just read quickly, and we have to prepare a memo for the Minabuthiya, which discuss the reputational concern. We have to review control weakness in the discussed in the emergency meeting, stating each control weakness and recommendation. Okay. And so we have just gone through this task. Okay. It is about some emergency meeting, and we have to discuss on ethical and reputational concerns. And also we have to discuss about internal controls and weakness. So obviously you should use data from the pre-scene. Along with that, task 3 can be related, can be matched to emergency meeting transcript. Because in task 3, it is mentioned that you have just left out the emergency meeting. So this task might specifically be related to task 3. Okay. And now when I open task 2, prepare a memo addressed to Oliver Wesonga. We have no idea who Oliver Wesonga is anyway. And which critically evaluate the contents and summary of operation issues in the project initiation document. Yes, it is talking about PID. Joe has just been appointed as project manager. Original project manager left suddenly ago. Oliver Wesonga is a junior member of the project team. He's one of the member of the project team. So looking at this question, it can be seen that this is all about some project management. And then we have another data here. Prepare 2 slides, discuss the benefit of investing in big data analytics. See, big data analytics is being asked as a question, and another question is about long-term infrastructure management. Okay, fine. And now we have to read. So task 2 is about project management and big data, right? So project management and PID. See, exhibit number 1, outline contents of PID. There is a PID given in the question. Outline contents of the PID is already given. So looking at this PID and the summary of operation issues, yes, this is the question. This is the scenario that we should match to task number 2, 2A. So outline contents of PID and emergency meeting transcript we have matched, and all these things should be done in the 15 minutes. And then we have a report of an interview. We don't know. Yes, it is talking about big data. This report is talking about report of an interview, report of a big data. Big data is something which we have seen in task 2, section B, task 2, part B. So outline contents of PID can be matched to task 2, part A. Report of an interview can be matched to task 2, part B. Emergency meeting transcript can be related to task 3. So what about task 1 then? Task 1 is to prepare a briefing paper. Okay, the company has been invited to tender. Okay, and the company has drawn a financial forecast. We have seen in the pre-scene. Okay, then we have to analyze financial and non-financial issues which will affect the final decision whether we should proceed with the road construction whether a recommendation is not required, and then discuss the difficulties that company may face in fulfilling the criteria stated by the Minister Desmond Ottino, the Transport Minister of Bethel. So to complete task number 1, A and B, the information that we required is not in these 3 exhibits, but in the pre-scene. Pre-scene is something that we have already learned well, right? Okay. So to answer this question, the financial and non-financial issues, we have gone through all these exhibit quickly, right? We have gone through all these exhibit quickly. There has been no financial forecast about in the PID. In the report of an interview, it was talking about big data. In the emergency meeting transcript, it is some risk area or some internal control issues are discussing here. Okay. So to discuss the financial and non-financial issues and to discuss the difficulties that Desmond Ottino, the CC company may face, as stated by Desmond Ottino. Task 1, 30 marks, can completely be answered simply by taking information from the pre-scene. Okay, so this is the challenging part in the SBL exam. If you have successfully done this exhibit mapping, then you will definitely get an upper edge rather than other candidates. So during the first 15 minutes, please do quickly read the more exhibits and quickly go through the task and do the exhibit mapping. Task 1 to task 2 pre-scene, task 2 to exhibit 1 and 2, task 3 to exhibit 3. Just do this. If needed, write somewhere in the scratch pad or somewhere else. Okay, and then start answering the question. Okay. Do you guys know this already? Like in your some of you guys have already started practicing, but have you practiced exhibit mapping as a process which have to be done during the exam? Please let me know. Very good, very good. Very good. Okay. In the past exam sessions, during the 4-hour sessions, students do spend majority of the time to do this exhibit mapping. Okay. By getting to know the industry and about the company in the pre-scene, we can do this more easily in very short time. Hardly maybe 5 or 10 minutes, maximum 10 minutes. In 10 minutes, you can do the complete exhibit mapping. Okay. Exhibit mapping was a difficult process in the past session. This has become much easy in this session. Okay. So whenever you get the question, do the exhibit mapping as the first thing. And now let's go read task one and start answering. Okay. So you are Alex Larson. Obviously, in every question, we will be assigned some roles. Here we are Alex Larson. Alex Larson is someone which we know. Who is Alex? Who is Alex? Alex is the senior NED of CC company. The details of Alex is already given in the pre-scene. And now we have to talk like Alex. We have to prepare a briefing paper like how Alex is preparing it. Not a student is preparing it, not someone who studies exam. Okay. So please do realize that this is a role play paper. This is a role play paper. You have to give the answer like how you being the Alex, how Alex is answering in a work environment. You have to give answer like that. Okay. SBL is a paper which mirrors the work environment. Exactly what a senior NED like Alex, what he does in work, the same thing you have to prepare the briefing paper like normally, usually a senior NED does. So you have it is subjective thing. So you can justify whatever point you bring, you can justify it, you will get marks for that. Okay. There is no specified answer for SBL. Okay. You can give any answer. The only thing is you have to give the justification. SBL is a very subjective paper. You can bring your points, justify it, earn marks. That's it. Okay. So speak like how Alex speaks. So you are Alex, the senior in AD. CC has been invited to tender for the contract for construction of new road in Bethel as the preferred partner. Okay. Finally, we have invited and the company's finance team has drawn a financial forecast. However, you have doubts. You means Alex. Alex is having some doubts about the contract, and we want it to be discussed thoroughly at the company's next board meeting. Our major concern is that whether company will be able to fulfill the criteria stated by the transport minister. Yes, the transport minister was stating some criteria. Lowest cost was one of the criteria stated by him, and timetable to be short as possible is another criteria stated by the Desmond Otino, right? Similarly, the disruption to the communities and the environmental footprint should be kept at minimum was another criteria stated by Desmond Otino. This all things we have seen in the PC. Okay. Now we have to prepare a briefing paper for the board meeting. Briefing paper. The next thing that students, the candidates should be cautious about is about the formats. You may be asked to give a briefing paper or a report or an email or a letter or a memo or press release. And for each of these formats, for each of these requirements, there are specific formats. If report is being asked, you have to give from to, date, subject, then introduction, body, conclusion. If briefing paper is being asked, you have to bring out your points in specific paragraphs, and for each paragraph, do give a subheading. Do give a subheading. And in the salutation, you have to give for attention of FAO, for the attention of board. Here, Alex is preparing a briefing paper. Alex is preparing a briefing paper for the board meeting. So for attention of FAO, the board. And then we have to type from Alex. Since it is a briefing paper, it does not essentially call for an introduction paragraph, but if needed, you can give a short intro and then do start answering in paragraphs with proper subheading. That is the format of briefing paper. If any of you guys are having doubts on how to get awareness about the formats, it is given in ACCA Study Hub. All formats, how a report should be, how a briefing paper should be, how a memo should be, how a business case should be, how slides should be, how press release should be, all these things, how a letter, everything, every formats are given in detail in ACCA Study Hub. Okay, so please do access ACCA Study Hub and at least have a knowledge about the formats, because formats attracts marks towards this marks, professional marks. If we put our formats right, we can earn some few marks from this form. Okay, so please be thorough of the formats. Here we have to prepare a briefing paper which analyzes the financial and non-financial issues which will affect the final decision of whether to accept the contract to build the road in Bethel. A recommendation is not required. You don't need to give a recommendation in the briefing paper, but you have to discuss financial and non-financial issues. So please let me know, how will you discuss what? Please give some points what you feel. Okay, as of now, for the convenience, I am taking Excel sheet to just point out things. Okay, most prob this is an answer which should be input in Word file. Okay, Word file. So this is a format for the attention of board from Alex, senior in ED. Okay, then this briefing paper discusses about so and so, that paragraph is not required. This report shows that is only for report. Okay, briefing paper don't necessarily calls for such paragraphs. Okay, instead you can just give a heading like financial and non-financial issues to consider on road construction in Bethel. Road construction in Bethel. Okay, heading, we have put the heading, and now start giving subheadings. As of now, I'm not elaborating all detailed points. Okay, the first thing that we have to do is see the marks. 18 marks is for the input answer and 4 marks is for analysis skills. So keep aside the professional marks. I will be discussing professional marks in detail later. As of now, focus on this 18 marks. Okay, if 18 marks is being asked, you have to make how many points? 18 marks means 18 marks means you have to bring out 9 points, not just bullet points. You have to make it well developed. Okay, for each point you will be getting 2 marks only if you had made the point a well developed point to match the scenario. Okay, please don't, if a point comes as a weak point, you bring up a point, but you see it seems that the point is not that good, the point is a bit weak. If you feel like that a point is weak, bring an extra point, that might attract more. But please don't bring additional point if in the requirement it is specifically mentioned that give 3 factors, discuss 10 factors, discuss 10 points. Okay, sometimes in the requirements it is specifically mentioned like 3, 4, 5. Okay, if such questions are there, only bring those 3 or whatever it is asked. Okay, in this question there is no such mentioning, so that we can go for 9 or 10 or 11 points if a point seems weak. But please don't spend more time than it needs. Okay, so we have to bring out 9 points. So I am giving my headings. First of all, I'm going to discuss financial issues, and after that I will be discussing non-financial issues. So this should be the structure of your briefing paper. This, make it in bold. Okay, and now start discussing the financial issues. What are the financial issue that you can develop? Please do comment. Simply by having the information available in the pre-scene, simply by after reading pre-scene, what do you feel? What are the financial or non-financial issues that do exist in the company? Please do discuss. We can, yes, very good. liquidity problem. Very good, Archana. Very good, Archana. We can definitely talk about liquidity issues, right? We can definitely talk about liquidity. How can we elaborate this point? Please don't put one and all, okay? Please don't put one. Liquidity problems. And develop this liquidity problems headings. How can we develop this liquidity problems into a paragraph? Okay. Tell me, what are the liquidity problems that we have gone through already in pre-scene? The company has issued some dividend, right? The company has issued some dividend. Dividends will decrease our cash balance, and this might lead into, only give terms like might or this could be. Okay, this will, please do avoid will in the question because we don't have much detail of the company. So please, we don't have much, we don't have the statement of financial position of the company with us. So please don't specific things like will. This will definitely don't do that. Okay, this might lead to liquidity issues, and moreover, very good, very good. If we have to, there is a need of initial investment, liquidity problems. Another thing is that investment, liquidity, and in other paragraph we can talk about investment. About investment, if we need to construct the road in Bethel, definitely we have to do some kind of investment, and there is no much greater data available about the investment. But as we have gone through the forecast projected cost in 2012 and 2000, in the first 3 years itself, we need 14,000 million dollars as cost, and we are only realizing just 9,000 million. So we are in short of 5 million earnings, right? Okay. And another term, another point that we can bring up is about profitability. Profitability. What we can talk about profitability is, we do usually, the company, CC company do usually accept a project which is having at least a profit margin of 8%. Okay. So now we are going with the road construction in Bethel, and will this construction give back a returns of 8%? Just check. Let us just check how to identify, and for that we need to go to this scaffold construction pre-scene data again. Okay, don't do by heart the numbers and all. There is a big data, big information available in the pre-scene, so please don't do by heart. Go to the pre-scene and take the data. The total cost that we are expecting is 19,000, and the total earnings that we are expecting is 21,000. Okay, 21,000 is the total revenue, and the cost that we are earning is 19,000. 19,000 million is the cost. So the profit is $2,000 million is the profit that we earn. The company usually do accept projects with a profit margin of 8%. So just calculate the profit margin. How? 2,000 profit divided by, this is the ratio knowledge that we have already learned in our F1PM syllabus in skill levels. Okay, we have some idea about this. So profit divided by sales, that is profit margin, right? So it is almost around 9.5%. Okay, profitability, discussing about the profitability, the company usually do accept projects with a profit margin of 8%, and CC company here is earning a profit margin of 9.5% in the specific road construction project in Bethel. So it is good to go. Please don't recommend, but please discuss within this paragraph. It is satisfying the company's requirement of 8%. Okay. So profitability, we talked about investment. Okay. When talking about investment, we could mention as the initial investment and an NPV analysis should be done before an investment should be made. There is no data about the initial investment required, and there is not be data about the discount rate or NPV analysis to be done. So these data should be made available so that we can appraise a particular project and could decide whether we need to proceed with this investment. And we have talked about the liquidity problems as well. Liquidity problems, we have issued some dividends, and it has been mentioned in the question that some loans are due for repayment in the coming 3 years. if we issue the dividends, the liquidity position may go down, and this may breach some of the conditions attached to the loans, and some more loans might be due for maturity, due for redemption. Okay, so this may call out for further liquidity issues. We could just comment. Okay, and so we have already brought 3 points, and please bring other points. Can we write financing costs are not considered in the projection? Very good, very good. Financing costs are not considered in the projection. It has been mentioned that if required money, government is guaranteeing debt financing. Government has just guaranteed the debt financing, but they haven't mentioned about any of the financial interest rate. The financing cost hasn't been mentioned. If the financing costs are too high, we can't rely much on the government as well. So this is an issue to consider. This is a further financial issue to consider while proceeding with the investment. Very good, very good point. Very good point. And then very good. Talking about the liquidity problems, we are already obliged to report a fines or penalty of almost $300,000. This will further affect our liquidity. Issue dividends, we need to pay the fines. This calls for more liquidity problems. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Already we brought 4 points, and now we can discuss 4 to 5 non-financial issues and just conclude. Okay. Please don't write answers like this. You have to explain these data, what we are just talking. Okay. Make these points into paragraph in your own language. No worries. ACCA does not penalize on the grammar. ACCA does not penalize on the spelling mistake. Just give your version of English. Okay. Because it is easy for examiner to mark. If you are talked about dividend and fines, this will affect liquidity position. It is easy for the marker. Marker will understand your points definitely. See, and tell what are the non-financial issues. What about tax implications? Can we include that? Yes, good point, Angel Rose. Very good point. Tax implication. Bethel is some other country, right? We have no idea what is the tax rate in that particular jurisdiction. So any earnings that we made here as profit, here 2000 profit, maybe majority, we have no idea about the tax rate existing in this country. Maybe majority of this profit might go as tax earning. Okay. So good point, guys. Good point. Taxation, tax policies in Bethel. Already we brought 5 points, and we can bring out one more points by undertaking some sensitivity analysis about the projected cost. Okay. Sensitivity analysis about the projected cost. See, as of now, we are just turning a profit margin of 9.5%. And if the profit margin is below 8%, the board will not be that favorable to this particular project. Okay. So just a 1.5% fall in profit margin will lead to non-acceptance of this particular project. So just consider if any of the projected costs, we have many of the projected costs there, road surface, tunnels, bridges, underpass, crossings, anything. If any of these projected costs is undervalued or underestimated, okay, actual costs may be much higher. This will make the profit margins to fall down, and therefore the project will be in a situation not to accept, right? Okay, so please do some sensitivity analysis. How to do sensitivity analysis? You can just mention this thing, or if needed, if you're having some time, just bring out some sensitivity calculation. Okay, 2000 divided by any of the cost. 2000 is the profit by any of the cost. Say for example, road surfaces cost. 2000 divided by 1000 is the road surface cost. No, not 1000. 1000 is just for 1 year, right? 1000 is just for 1 year. 6110. 6110. This is how you should undertake sensitivity analysis. See, the profit 2000 is representing the profit 2000 is just The profit that we earned 2000 is just 32% of the total one of the cost. If this road surface cost is increased by 32%, if the road surface cost is increased by 32%, the company will not be making any more profits. The company will fall down to break even. Okay, the profits will be zero. So just do that calculation. There might be very good. They might have used unrealistic assumption. Yes, that is a general point which we could input for almost all of the questions. Whenever we discuss a financial issues, they might have used many of the assumptions while doing this projected cost. Okay. CC company must consider the reliability of these assumptions. Bring this particular point as a paragraph. That will earn marks. Okay, so we are already 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points plus this assumption point, almost 7 points itself in financial issues. Please don't do this. We just need 4 or 5 and just 4 or 5 in non-financial issues. So what are the other non-financial issues that we can consider? Non-financial issues. We have no experience in Bethel. We are having experience. We are a construction industry, which we are having operations in Alpi and Omegaland, where the countryside is flat. In Bethel, it is mountainous region, and we are having no experience, zero experience in construction roads over mountainous region. So this could be a failure, and if it is, then this is leading to serious reputational risk. This is another non-financial issue which is to be considered. Okay, very good point, Archana, very good. Health and safety is something to be discussed. Health and safety. We have to pay a fines of $300,000 fines and penalties regarding regarding safety working conditions, right? Regarding the dangerous conditions on the working site. We are currently having operations just in Alpia and Omegaland, which is flat country and where we can offer more good working condition. Bethel is a country which is having mountainous region, and we are having no guarantee whether we can provide good working conditions to them. So if we incurred a fine of 300,000 in Alphia or in Omegaland, then what will be the fines? What will be the fines and penalties amount that we would be suffering in Bethel? Okay, so we can definitely talk about the health and safety. Maybe employees also might be concerned. Employees also might be concerned about the health and safety, and they might be reluctant to move to Bethel. Okay, to construct the road, employees have to be in Bethel, right? Our employees who are in Alphia and Omegaland, they might be reluctant to move to Bethel because of the working conditions offered, or they might be reluctant to move because they are not ready to leave their families. They may be not ready for secondment or anything. You could just justify. This is a point. They may not be ready to leave their families and move to the other countries for 3.5 years. The construction time is almost around 3.5 years. So the employees might not be ready to move. This could bring up as a point in non-financial issue. Okay. Then another points. Come up with another points. Very good. Very good. Communities are get affected. It can be seen in the prison. Communities are being affected by the road construction. Communities means not just the villages, but also the wildlife species, wildlife habitats, everything in this mountainous region. All these communities are getting affected by the construction, and the people, the villages might raise some protest, which could deter the construction of road in Bethel. Okay. Then another point. This is the biggest project. We have no experience in doing $20 billion projects. The biggest ever project that we had done is $10 billion. This is almost a double size of the project, and we are having zero experience in this. And that too, this becomes more risky since the Country areas mountainous. Okay, because we have no experience. See, many points coming up. And then we have no project management software right now. Project management software, our Site Smart initiative will only be ready in 2 years, but the road construction have to be done within 3 years. So as of now, we are having no Site Smart initiative. This could be a problem. Talk about Site Smart. Talk about Site Smart. Okay. Then in a new country, we need materials for construction. We need labor for construction, right? For materials, we need suppliers. The suppliers in Bethel might not be providing materials of appropriate quality and at appropriate price that we usually get from Alphia or Omega Land. The materials in Bethel may be too high priced. Okay. Moreover, there is flooding during the wet season. This may become the road impassable. This may actually stop construction as well. Flooding may stop construction as well. See, all these points are just given in the precede. There are 25 points, and you guys just have to bring 9 points. Okay, then give more points, please. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points, 9 points in non-financial issues, and 7 points. 9 plus 7, almost 16 points. Okay. And another issue is there might be cultural web. We had learned some topic about cultural web in our syllabus. There might be cultural issues because this is another country. Countries do have different culture. Maybe the working time in Bethel is for 3 or 4 hours. Maybe the working week in Bethel is just 3 days. Okay, Alphia and Omega Land might have their working weeks. Their culture is to work for maybe 7 days or 5 days, whatever. Okay, so just talk about cultural issues. This come up as another point. Then that's enough. Almost 17 points. We have bring 17 points. Just give 9 points, but make this points in paragraphs. Liquidity problems, talk about the dividend fines and liquidity in paragraphs. Investment, talk about NPV appraisal and discount factor things in paragraphs. Profitable margin, talk about the profit margins, talk about sensitivity analysis, talk about financing costs, everything in paragraph. And once you complete one paragraph, give appropriate spacing before you start another paragraph. Before you start with another subheading, give appropriate spacing. Presentation is something which is very, very important. This will add your professional marks. Okay. So by bringing these points, this is actually an easy question. You guys can score 18 on 18. But to be practical, we could just say maybe 14 marks. Okay. We could easily score 14 marks for this particular topic. Okay. Clear with task 1A. Okay. Can we move to task B? Okay. Yes. Discuss the difficulties. Discuss the difficulties company may face in fulfilling the criteria stated by Desmond Otino, the Transport Minister of Bethel. Yes, there are some criteria which is stated by Desmond Otino, the Transport Minister. Maybe we may not, the company, CC company may not be able to fulfill all those criteria. We might be facing some kind of difficulties. Okay, discuss the difficulties. What could be the difficulties? Okay, so this is a task which is having 8 marks. A task of 8 marks, we need to give 4 points. Okay, 4 points, minimum 4 points. One criteria was low cost, right? Low cost was one of the criteria stated by Desmond Otino. CC company can't assure that this project could be completed within the low cost, by low cost. This Desmond Otino is thinking, Desmond Otino has stated in the press release that, see, Wait. Let me take the preceding information again. What Desmond Dottino has stated in the preceding. This is CEO statement. Then yes. See, Desmond Ottino is expecting this project to be completed by the government costing 20 billion. But actually, what we are expecting from the government is 21 billion. See the projected cost, and projected revenue. This is the revenue that we are expecting from government. We are expecting 21,000 million, which is $21 billion from the government. And Desmond Ottino is stating that low cost is our criteria. We have to complete this project. Maybe they might be expecting that this to be completed at a cost of 20 billion to the government. Okay, which means that the revenue that we can maximum earn might be limited to 20 billion. Okay, so talk about this 2021 conflict. 20 billion. We are expecting 21 billion, and the government wants this to be completed at a $20 billion at low cost. And even if we complete in low cost, there might be serious issues that may further cause to accidents or injuries. Because low cost means we may have to sacrifice the quality. Moreover, we are having no experience in constructing a road in a mountainous region. The road surfaces, the ground remediation, the ground stabilization, all these activities, we are doing it for the very first time, right? So if we focus on this criteria, we cannot complete the project with appropriate quality, and this might lead to huge serious reputation issues and risk health and safety issues in future. So talk about low cost. And another criteria that Desmond Ottino stated is to keep the timetable as short as possible. Timetable as short as possible. Why is Desmond Ottino, the transport minister, mentioning the timetable to be limited? The road construction is expected to be completed within 3.5 years. Okay, we are expecting the project to complete it in 3.5 years. And if the transport minister wants to complete this in a more minimal time, we can't assure enough quality and the completion of the project within within that minimal time, right? Okay. And moreover, we could bring up some skeptical points, like he wants this to show as a lasting achievement of this government. This government could change in maybe in 1 or 2 years. The term might change in 1 or 2 years. That might be the reason he is pushing for the timetable to keep as minimal as possible, as short as possible. Okay, so talk about the political term of the government, and if we try to complete in a time which is less than 3 years, that might further result again into serious health and safety, reputation issues, quality issues, talk about in the second paragraphs. Okay, and what is the third point? He wants the disruption to be kept at minimum, right? Obviously there will be disruption to environment, there will be disruption to see, spelling of environment is wrong right now, but please don't go and correct that. Okay, you will be losing your precious time. Environment, and then wildlife species issues are for wildlife species, and there are disruption is also to the communities, to the villages there, communities or villages there. Okay, he wants this disruption to kept at minimum. This may not be possible. Already we are constructing this road through risky mountains, right? Okay, so there may be only one particular road which we can construct as per our plan. The road have to go through some villages, then only the construction could be complete. In such cases, definitely those communities or villages get affected. Okay, so we can't assure that our disruption will be minimum. The only thing that we can suggest government is to compensate for the communities that get affected, as our governments do. Okay. Similarly, for the wildlife community and for the environment, there is not specific plans to move the entire wildlife species to some other place, or nothing like that was mentioned. So if we were to construct road through this mountainous region in Bethel, these wildlife species will get definitely extincted, or the environmental footprint will be there in the road construction of Bethel. Since it is a mountainous region, there might be very limited options in among the routes. Okay. So we can't assure that disruption should kept at minimum. So these 3 points are the criteria stated by Desmond Totino. You can directly map this to the press release that he stated there. Okay. So this is actually another easy question. You can definitely bring out these 3 points, and we need a fourth point. We need a fourth point. Government has guaranteed debt finance. Okay. Some point is coming in. Government has guaranteed debt finance. But criteria, this is not a criteria, right? Maybe the government has guaranteed debt finance. Maybe there might be some covenants, some condition. Okay, very good point. That is the point that you were trying to say, right? Okay. Terms and conditions. There might be some terms and conditions attached to the debt finance that government offer. So if we fail to keep these conditions, that debt finance may have to be repaid in very short time. That may not be possible. Not to repay, but also to keep the condition. We may not be able to keep the conditions. We don't know about the conditions. We don't know even a condition exists for the debt finance. Those data is missing actually, but still we could just give a comment on that. And there is another criteria that we should use our resources efficiently with less wastage. Already it is a mountainous region. There might be some wastage of materials, some wastage of labor. We may not be able to complete the expected usage of resources like budgeted. We may use much more of these resources, or we may not intentionally, but because of the nature of the construction and all, we may have to waste some resources. Okay, so efficiency also, we cannot say like that. Okay, so just bring 4 points. We have bring 5 points. Yes, sir, they did keep conditions. Okay, it is in the scenario. Okay, okay. Let me go through the scenario then. Just random guessing. The government will guarantee any debt finance that the contractor needs to fund the project. Only this much, right? About the conditions, okay, that is not about government. That is not specifically about this project. That is the risk that we are facing currently, which is in the risk report section. The conditions of the loans and all. That is for the existing loans that we had to, not for the debt finance that we will be taking from government, not for that, the conditions. Okay. Okay, Sana, thank you. Okay, so these are the criterias. So I hope task one, we could at least score, ignore the professional marks. We will be discussing about the professional marks at last. 18, we could at least score 14. We can definitely bring good 7 points, and we can definitely bring 6 points. We can directly map it to the press release of the, we can talk about low cost, we can talk about disruption, we can talk about the timetable as well. Maybe we miss out other points. So 6 plus 14, 20 marks is easily realizable from this 26 mark, 4 marks professional marks. We will be definitely getting that. If you write your answer in a particular way, I will be discussing that at last. Okay. So out of the 26, we can definitely can bring almost 20 marks for this particular question, because task one seems pretty easy compared to task two. Okay. So please be confident. Okay. We can do this. We have already scored about 20 marks from this 26 mark. And now for a pass, we need to score another 30 marks from this 74, right? We can do that. Okay. So the second part, task 2 and task 3, we will be discussing it tomorrow. Okay. So please do join for the live session. I know already this these recordings will be uploaded in YouTube, but doing it in live session will be different. Okay, so kindly do join for the live session itself. We will be, as mentioned, we will be discussing the second part of this pre-scene. We haven't gone through this exhibit, right? Exhibit number 1, 2, 3. We have to go through this exhibit and we have to answer task 2 and 3 as well. Okay, we will be doing it tomorrow, and day after tomorrow we will be discussing the current pre-scene, which is for September 23 exams. Okay, so guys, all the best of luck with your studies, and if possible, tomorrow is already Saturday. Most of you guys working, even if working professional, you guys will be having leave, right? So please do go through the study hub syllabus areas or the technical article syllabus area, the strategy, the leadership, risk management, project initiation document, data analytics, things like that. Okay, because we need some kind of knowledge about data analytics and project risk things in task 2 and task 3. Okay, so please read each a technical article in a day. Please read a technical article, one technical article a day. Please do that for the coming days, and we can do more of the next live session. Okay, so I hope the live session was effective. Can you please bring out your comments here about the live session, or if there is any suggestions, please discuss that as well, so that we can accommodate your suggestions as well. Okay, thank you. Others, appreciate if you could please input your comments. Thank you. It was effective. Thank you, Nasim. Thank you. Okay, so hope the session was effective. Many of you are commenting the session was effective. When looking into pre-scene, can we discuss possible question? When we looking pre-scene, definitely I will give some question tips, question tipping or question spotting, but please don't believe this. I can't guarantee this question will definitely appear for the September exams. Okay, so definitely I will be giving that. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you. Take care. Read the technical articles. See you tomorrow. Thank you. Bye. Good night.